Welcome to Beyond Words Presents. My name is Whitney Diffenderfer, and this week I am here with Dr. Sue Morter. She is one of the leading people who work on the who work on the spiritual and scientific bridge in order to help us dig deeper into our human consciousness. And I'm so excited to have you here, Dr. Sue. You're going to be talking with us about energy codes and how to find them and how to break through them. And welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I always look forward to digging into this kind of conversation because it always goes a little bit differently and it always takes us to a place that has deep meaning. You know, that's the point of getting together like this. So it's my joy, my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And I want to let everybody out there know, Dr. Sue told me before the show that I should grab a pen and paper. So as you listen along and do the exercises for yourself, be sure you have those with you. And then also, if you have any questions, you can submit them through the Google Hangouts app. And please be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and then also to like our channel on YouTube. So Dr. Sue, if you'd like to get started with the exercise, but my first question really is, what is an energy code?
Oh, the energy codes are practices and principles of really learning how to find a deeper version of life, a bigger meaning to our life experiences so that we stop kind of fighting our way through life and struggling from circumstance, but we really get to the point of what's the benefit here, you know, how is this serving me, what is the blessing in these situations. And we always hear that that's a good idea to do, you know, to find the silver lining around the dark cloud and that kind of thing. Well, there is a much bigger version of that available to us if we have a bigger context set for life. So the energy codes give us ways to do that. So they are principles, ways of thinking about life, ways of looking at life, ways of approaching situations within ourselves or with other people, and then also physical practices that we can do for self-healing and for increasing the energy flow through our body. And the reason for that, the reason we want to increase the energy flow through our body is not only to help us heal ourselves, but also to help us really get in charge of our lives, because energy in motion is empowerment, and when the energy gets stagnated, we get sick, we get disempowered, we start feeling inadequate, we start feeling uncertain and unsure of ourselves, and everything just kind of cycles downward from there, as we all probably have had some experiences in. So the energy codes are a collection of practices and principles that allow us to have a little bit better life experience than we were having before.
So I definitely had it backwards. I was thinking the energy codes were something that we needed to discover in order to clear out or to fix. And it sounds like really they are the thing that help you see what it is that there is to clear out or
they're not the problem,
shift.
they're the solution. Yes, they're not the problem, they're the solution.
So what you just described in terms of, you know, getting sick and spiraling down, as you can hear right now, I am sick, and I was sharing with you just before the show that I've been sick a couple of times. I threw my back out, and I'm just like definitely dealing with something, and I feel like what you just described with what the energy codes can do is something that would help me in my life, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are looking at the holiday season thinking, oh my goodness, here we go again, how am I going to do this? Do you have advice or any sort of or exercise or something that I and those out there can do to help them gear up and be ready for this season?
Yes, well, it's an amazing thing that happens when we start finding ourselves getting sick and we start finding ourselves stumbling or feeling like just out of sorts. There's a reason for that. And I want to explain something about this time of year. You know, we're talking about seasonally and the idea that it's a time that people can catch colds, and the time that you know, we have to be careful, get your flu shot, that kind of thing.
Yes.
I have a totally different approach to life. I see this life experience completely different than that. And what I want to explain is this, that this time of year is a tremendous opportunity for you to grow, for you to evolve, for you to expand, and for you to awaken to your masterful self, not just your reactive self, but your masterful self. And so the reason that that is true is because, seriously, there is a planetary alignment that happens in the winter solstice. There is a time that, this is a time of the year where the energies align that allow us to really come deep inside and find our full potential like no other. The winter months, we go inward. It is a real thing. And there's a reason that every culture on the planet has called it the holy days, the holidays. There's a reason for that. And it is because there is a time during the year, and this is it, that all things are possible. And so, like the miracle, it's more possible at this time for many, many reasons that we may or may not have time to go into today. But when you're finding yourself sickly or not really feeling in your power, it is possibly, and I would contend that it's most probably because you are going through some of that transition, whether you know it or not. And there is a deep cleansing that takes place during a time like that, and a cold is actually a cleansing. It's not a problem, it's a solution. You know, how ironic that now we've come upon two things that we thought were problems and they're actually solutions. So we have to keep this in mind, that the cold is your body trying to cleanse itself. It's trying to detoxify. And that's happening naturally at this time of year. So go with it. Don't resist it. Just lean into it. Just know that if I'm feeling sickly, it's because my body is trying to detoxify, trying to cleanse, and is trying to better itself. So if I eat less and I drink more water and I drink warm water, it allows my body to lean in and to participate in what it's naturally trying to go through. And I don't walk around thinking there's something wrong. There's something wrong with me that I'm getting sick. There's, you know, I'm not in the kind of shape that I should be in. You follow? So what we want to do is, number one, stop judging ourselves, okay? And number two, start to trust that whatever's happening in my life is supposed to be happening. Whatever is unfolding is good. This is a good thing that's happening. And I might serve myself well to start asking myself, you know, it's the end of the year, I'm supposed to be reaping the harvest, I'm supposed to be really understanding the benefits of this past year and everything that I've been going through and attempting to do in my life, or to improve in my life, or to awaken to within me. And as I do that and take that kind of inventory, it's very important to celebrate that. Because when we celebrate, we move ourselves, our system, our whole self moves into a healing mode. And so if there are things we're trying to up-level and things that we're trying to become and trying to awaken to, we support that process by celebrating, by taking better care of ourselves, resting more, drinking more fluids, drinking warm fluids, eating warm foods, and eating less, because it allows the body to cleanse and detoxify. It allows our mind then to be used for something more uplifting than trying to figure out what's wrong and how do I avoid getting sick. It's like, I'm interested in humanity laying down that whole way of living. Because if I'm trying to avoid the things that are going to make me sick, I'm still living in a world where sickness is kind of all around me. But if I start living in a way that says, you know, everything that's happening is good, and if I'm sinusy or I got a sore throat, it just means that I'm trying to detoxify and cleanse, and I have to speak my truth and allow myself to be comfortable in the world. And as I do that, I'm also going to take time to take an inventory of everything that I've accomplished this year and everything that is manifesting, and to celebrate that. Count our blessings and celebrate. So those are a few things that I would say right off the bat would be really helpful for anyone that's in this situation. You know, when we're ambitious and we want to improve ourselves and move forward in life, the body responds. And when it does so, it has to get rid of some old ways of being and some old ways of thinking. And as it's doing that naturally at this time of year, it's normal for us to go through some cleansing type experiences. So don't get freaked out that, oh, I know that I'm doing everything wrong and I should be doing things differently. So So do just a few things, just to embrace what you're experiencing. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense. When you said, stop judging yourself, I actually kind of teared up a little bit because I realized that's exactly what I'm doing. And I always feel like if I get a cold, it's almost a failure. I've not taken good enough care of myself. I've not eaten right. I've not done something that I should be doing. And I didn't realize that that was what was in my head until you just said that. So thank you.
Yeah, this is what we get stuck in. We're so conditioned in our culture to think that something's wrong and something's missing and I'm doing something wrong. And the very first thing that we could ever do that is so powerful to turn that around is to just say, you know what, nature doesn't really do things wrong. Nature doesn't do wrong. I mean, is it wrong when it rains? Is it wrong like it shouldn't have rained today? Like nature doesn't beat itself up. That I have a pine tree outside my house and it doesn't say, oh man, I should have been a maple tree so that I could change my leaf colors or whatever. Nature doesn't do that to itself. It doesn't judge and think it should be different than it is. It just lets it just does its thing. But human beings, we don't do that, and that's the first problem. That's the first thing that we need to do differently. So we talk about the energy codes and that whole body of work that I do. It's this kind of stuff that we're working with in a kind of an organized fashion that allows us to reframe our thinking so that we stop beating ourselves up and thinking, oh, it's my fault and shame on me and that kind of thing. Everything in all of the world, it's just energy. Nature is just energy. And if we stop naming and judging and deciding which energies are good and which ones are bad, we can actually embrace and kind of lean into nature and actually start being who we're intended to be. And what happens is self-healing happens under those conditions. We automatically progress when we stop beating ourselves up so much in these kinds of ways.
And just what you're saying about nature makes me think also is when we were created and we are part of nature, and so as
Right.
we are is as we are. That's just as it is, and there's no, oh, I wish I was skinnier, I wish I was stronger, I wish I was taller. It's just, it is what it is. We are that same thing as nature. We can't be the maple tree when we're a pine tree.
We're not supposed to be. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you were supposed to be, a pine tree, you'd be a pine tree. If you were supposed to be, shorter or thicker or thinner or whatever, that's exactly what would be happening. Everything that is happening in our lives is exactly what is supposed to unfold. So otherwise, something else would be happening if something else was supposed to be happening, right? So if we can just kind of start with that as a baseline, then there's a relaxation that occurs. It's like, this sigh of relief happens inside, and that part of you that is responsible for healing gets to start to take charge, and it gets to play out its role when we stop interfering with it. Mm-hmm. So the first thing for healing that has to happen is we have to relax. And I don't mean take a vacation. I mean get comfortable. Just get comfortable in your own skin. Find a way to be comfortable no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances are. That's step one. Our number one priority is we have to find a comfortable position in the world, inside of our bodies. Get comfortable in your own skin. And so somebody might say, well, how do I do that? I'm not comfortable. How do I get comfortable? Well, there are some exercises that we can do that will allow us to just kind of ground right in, just sit right down inside of ourselves instead of getting all up in our heads and thinking that things should be different and I should be this and that and that. Just all the stuff that we do. Just stop that, and I'm going to give you a couple of things to do that will immediately kind of drop you into your heart space and drop you into your deep wisdom center that's low in your body. Your wisdom is ultimately what keeps you steady in all kinds of circumstances. Life offers us up so many demanding circumstances that we get all up in our heads trying to figure out how to respond to it in a way that's going to be safe or smart or win or be first or the best or whatever. It's like, knock it off. Drop into yourself, because tick-tock, your life is going by, and you're either enjoying it or you're not. And you have to. You know, I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to all of you. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to all of us. Life is going by, and we're either having a good time or we're not. And we're never going to heal if we're not enjoying ourselves. And it's our responsibility to just get comfortable. Just get comfortable inside of yourself. And one of the ways that makes it easier to get comfortable inside of yourself is to get out of your head and into your body. People live in their heads. We think too much, we analyze too much, we doubt too much, we predict too much. We're always up here grinding. We have to come down out of that and chill. Okay? So I'm going to give you some exercises that will allow you to pull yourself out of your head and down into your heart, and even better, even more important, get through the heart and add to it your wisdom. So if you could imagine your wisdom is below your belly button and above your pubic bones. Okay, so if you put your thumb in your belly button right now and just laid your hand right below it, right there is an area of the second chakra, if you're familiar with energy centers in the body, and it's also called the creative womb, and it's also considered the wisdom center. Okay, so your wisdom is in your gut. It's your gut feelings. They rise up every once in a while. We listen to them. I have to tell you, no one has ever said to me, I had a gut feeling, and I trusted it, and I went with it, and boy, do I regret it. No one's ever said that to me. Huh. But you know what I hear all the time? I mean, I've been 30 years in practice, treating patients, working with people, 15 years teaching workshops and working with hundreds and thousands of people over that time frame, tens of thousands of people in 15 years, and no one has ever said to me, I had a gut feeling and I trusted it and I went with it, and boy, do I regret it. No one has ever said that. But you know what I hear all the time? I had a gut feeling, I knew, and oh, I didn't listen to it. I just shoved it aside because I didn't want to be the one to rock the boat or to make waves, or who am I to question the authorities or all that stuff. And you know what comes next? They say, boy, do I regret it, right? So let's do the math, right? No one's ever regretted following their gut. Let's follow our guts. It makes sense to me, right?
Yeah, and it's when the head gets in the way, because I can see where I've had those same regrets because I didn't follow a gut feeling, because I got thinking.
Right. Our brilliance is not up here. The smartest thing we can do up here is to listen to our gut. Okay? That's the smartest thing we can do with our head, is to listen to your gut. So when your gut is talking to you, it is speaking a huge truth, but the mind has a hard time trusting it, because it might not sound like the logical thing to do or the smart thing to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to make sure that we're not letting that get in the way. So one of the ways that we can do that is we have to start putting more energy into our gut instead of putting all of our energy into our head. Okay, so the energy codes are principles and practices that help teach us how to get out of our heads and into our bodies, into our gut and into our heart. Now, other people say to me all the time, I know I need to get in my heart, I know I need to get out of my head and be in my heart, and I always forget to do that, and so I'm going to try to do that again. And the reason that we can't remember to do that or keep doing it, if we do remember to do it, stay there, is because we're not tethered below it. So this little exercise that we're all going to do is going to bring us down into the body and tether us there, lock us in, which allows us to access our wisdom and stay present with ourselves, stay in our hearts, so that when we use our head, it's only getting a third of our energy instead of 100% of our energy. Okay? Are you willing to divvy it up at least a third, and a third?
I would love to. My brain has way too much power now.
Okay, I know. All, this is amazing. All of our pain is because of what goes on up here. That's it. Illness, repetitive, beating ourselves up, all of that stuff is because we have measured up life inaccurately. We're perceiving things inaccurately. We think we should be different than we are. We think they should be different than they are. We think things should be different than they are. We think everything should be different than it is. You know, that's a pretty big burden to try to carry. No wonder we get exhausted. Okay? All right? So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to mula bandha. Okay? What's that? We're going to mula bandha. It's an ancient Sanskrit term, meaning the oldest language in the world is Sanskrit, and the oldest practice that Sanskrit language describes as a self-healing practice is getting out of your head and into your body and getting down rooted in your own essential true self. Okay? So the way that you do this, you don't have to know how to say it, but you have to know how to do it.
Okay.
You have to contract some muscles low in your body. So you're going to contract the muscles at the base of the spine. Now, how do I do that? You know, the gluteal muscles and the abdominal muscles, like the muscles if you were going to lay on your back and raise your legs up. If you were going to lay on your back and raise your legs up, your abdominal muscles would have to contract to raise your legs up, right? Okay? So those muscles contract them. And then the gluteal muscles, the muscles you're sitting on right now, contract them. And then go inside your body and contract the muscles that if your bladder was full and you couldn't get to a bathroom for a while, you would have to contract the muscles a little bit around there just to make sure everything's okay, right? Okay? So you're going to do that and just hold those muscles. It's like you contract everything at the base of the pelvic bowl. Just contract it. Boom. Okay? Now when you do that, you're going to notice that your body kind of sits upright. It kind of sits it up straight. And the reason for that is there is energy that is pouring down from overhead right into your body all the time. And because we're not really living in our core, we're up here in our head, it kind of rushes right through the body and it gets wasted. It just like as if it falls out the other end. Okay? So we're this channel and we want to make a wine glass out of it, okay? So we're going to go from being a tube that the wine would just pour straight through, and we're going to make a wine glass, something that will catch it, like this. You follow?
Yeah.
Got me? Are you with me?
Yep. I'm
Squeezing it?
tightening. I'm squeezing.
Squeeze it. It's going to help you, okay? So you squeeze this. Now this energy is kind of come down into your body, and it's going to start filling up this glass. So it's filling up your body. All right, now that energy starts to fill up your body. First of all, it's going to help your vital force. It's going to help your ability to heal. And it's going to be available for you to utilize. So you're going to utilize more energy. But the beautiful immediate benefit is, as soon as you're ruminating, over-ruminating, analyzing, predicting, worrying, fretting, dreading, begrudging, all the other stuff that we do all day long with our heads, we're going to stop doing some of that because now we have something else to focus on. You follow? When you have something else to focus on, you're not going to be doing all that stuff. But the beautiful thing about it is it starts to anchor your consciousness inside your body. And then, here's the next thing that I'm going to invite you to do. Squeeze your heart space in the center of your chest. You squeeze your heart space in the center of your chest. So I'm not doing it with my hands. I'm doing it with no hands, okay? I'm going to pull in the muscles like as if I was going to pull in from the one side and pull in from the other and squeeze my shoulder blades together and drop them down, okay? Then I'm going to kind of contract my pectoralis muscles, just like get all in there. Now I'm all locked down with those muscles. And now on the inside from there, I'm going to squeeze more muscles right at the core, inside, right inside the center of my chest. Okay? We're not used to contracting those, but if you do that for 3 days, you're going to feel it. Okay? After 3 days, you're going to be able to feel those muscles. So everybody has to do this mula bandha, this root lock thing, and squeeze your heart thing every day, like 10 times a day for 3 days. Okay? And then you're going to start to be able to feel yourself doing it, and then it's going to make more sense to you, okay? But
So do you hold it for an extended period of time, or?
Haven't gotten there yet, okay?
Okay.
Haven't even gotten there yet. We're good, okay? We're good? All right. So there's one more thing. Now we're going to start to breathe. I want you to take a deep breath, because I can see you, all right? And I want you to take a deep breath in. I want to see how you do it. So just take it. Let's take a deep breath in together. Okay, ready, go. Okay, this is what happens. Everybody does this. And all you people that I can't see, I know you're doing this too. Okay? When we take a breath in, I'm going to demonstrate this. This is what happens. We take a big breath in and we go like this. Now I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but this kind of went like this, okay? When my shoulders come up, I'm breathing in my upper lungs. When I breathe in my upper lungs, it tells the brain, there's a bear chasing you, run. Okay? When I breathe in my lower lungs, it tells the brain, the bear's gone, coast is clear, let's chill out, relax. As soon as I get the message in my brain, the bear is gone, let's chill out and relax, the next thing that happens is it flips a switch over, and guess what happens? Healing happens. Filtering, cleansing, detoxifying at a rate that my body can handle happens. Okay? I become more creative, more ingenious, more rested, all kinds of great stuff happens. Okay? So we definitely want to breathe in the lower lobes of our lungs. How do we do that? You ask. I'm gonna share with you. Okay? All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. When you breathe in, your belly is going to get big, like Buddha belly, or Santa Claus, or whatever, okay? You're going to get a big old fat belly when you breathe in, big old belly, and then when you exhale, you're going to pull your belly back toward your spine. Then when you inhale, you're going to draw all that energy forward. Your belly's going to get really big. And when you exhale, your stomach's going to go back toward your spine. And you notice my upper lobes, my shoulders aren't moving at all. I'm going to breathe in really big right now, and you watch, my shoulders aren't going to move at all. You see that? Okay, I'm going to breathe in my upper lungs. You see the difference? One of them helps me, the other one hinders me. So, you know, we've always been told, you know, before you get in that important conversation, before you go into that important meeting, before you do those things, just take a big breath and then begin. If you take a big breath in your lungs, up here in your upper lobes, you're just told your brain, this meeting is going to go horribly, okay? This bear is going to eat me, okay? This meeting is not going to work out. Okay, that's what's happening when we do that. So we want to breathe in our lower lobes of our lungs, breathe deep in our belly. Now we're going to add it all together. We're going to contract this Mula Bandha, rooting, locking in the energy at the base of our spine so that our wisdom can be accessed. So let's lock that up. Squeeze those muscles, everybody. Okay, squeeze. Locked in, ready to go. I love it. All right, and now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the heart. So you just get in there and squeeze it. It's going to feel all rigid and awkward at first when you do this, but pretty soon it gets really fun. It's kind of fun because you can secretly do this secret weapon anytime, anywhere. All right? So nobody knows that you're Mula Bandha-ing and squeezing your heart. And now the next thing you're going to do is take a big belly breath, okay? Let's take a belly breath, squeezing the heart, squeezing Mula Bandha. Let's breathe in, but don't let your shoulders move, okay? Breathe in to the belly. And what happens is this energy gets drawn way down into the belly. So envision it that way. Go work with it, okay? So you're breathing in, and then when you exhale, you're going to exhale as if you're just letting it go, but don't relax the Mula Bandha. Keep those muscles contracted, and exhale as if you're dropping it right down into the earth, right down through your spine and through your chair and right into the earth. Just exhale. Now, since we're down there in the earth with our concentration, we're just imagining this, but with our concentration, we're down in the earth. Let's take another breath. Keep that Mula Bandha contracted. We're going to take a breath up into the belly. Again, the belly gets big. Draw it up like you're sucking up a big old milkshake right up into your belly. All right? Okay. And then keep that heart squeezing. Keep Mula Bandha going. Now we're going to exhale. I want you to exhale that energy straight up through your chest, your throat, through the middle of your brain, and out just as if you were a whale and you were like going to blow it out. You're the blowhole on the top of your head. Okay? Just blow it right out the top of your head. Just make it up. Just play with this. Okay? Now, you take a deep breath in from overhead. Keep squeezing your heart. Keep squeezing this Mula Bandha. Now breathe from over your head, come straight back down through that tube in the middle of your body, and breathe it right through that squeezed heart, right into the belly. Make a big old Buddha belly. And then keep Mula Bandha squeezing at the base of the pelvic bowl, and then exhale right into the earth. Now, just relax for a minute and notice how you feel in your body. Just notice how you feel. What do you have there? What's happening?
I feel there's so much energy all like going throughout my entire body. It just feels alive.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed to feel that way all the time, by the way. Little note to self, okay? I'm supposed to feel good all the time, right? So I'm supposed to have vital energy. I'm supposed to gather and collect that energy for myself so that I can draw upon it all day long. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to breathe in my belly so that my brain gets told it's okay to heal. You don't have to fight the bear. It's okay. Be calm. It's fine. Now, I have a very busy life. I run all the time. I'm catching planes and packing suitcases and schlepping them all over the country, all over the world, and back. I was just in India, I don't know, a few days ago. It seems like maybe a week ago. Back and forth from all over the place, okay? I'm busy. You're busy. We're all busy. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have a lot of energy. So you bet when I'm running through that concourse to catch my plane, I'm Mula Bandha-ing and breathing up and down this central channel. There's no way I could do what I do if I didn't do it this way. You follow? So the energy codes are finding all kinds of things like this that give us an organized way of cultivating healing energy in the body instead of just making do or trying to survive this life that we're in. You follow? Because this life that we're in is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to work. It's supposed to be graceful. It's supposed to be joyful. And if it's not really rolling out that way, there's a reason. And it's just because we're misperceiving ourselves in it. We think things are different than they really are. Mm-hmm. So I love clarifying that for people. This simple thing that we just did, you can't overdo it. Do it every day, all the time, every time you can think of it. You cannot overdo it. I'm going to review it. I'm going to review it right now. Mula Bandha, you squeeze the muscles at the base of the pelvic bowl. The abdominal muscles, the gluteal muscles, but then go inside from there. There are other muscles that you will eventually get a feel for. Okay? We squeeze that one. We squeeze the heart inside the chest, from the left, from the right, from the back, from the front. We squeeze in there and then go inside from there. And then we're going to breathe such that we can kind of hear it moving through our throat. Kind of squeeze your throat. I'm adding on something here. Squeeze the throat a little bit so that you can hear the breath moving up and down through the throat when you breathe. That allows you to bring your concentration into the center of your body. When you bring it into the middle, then you start to cultivate power to heal. You start to cultivate power to have a higher self-esteem and self-image. You start to cultivate your personal power, and your wisdom comes to life. And you're able to speak your truth because you're grounded and you're centered and you're in there. And it's not just a coping skill. This truly changes the circuitry of your nervous system to program you to live differently in life every day, not just when you're in a stressful situation. Then you're going to Buddha belly breathe and your low abdomen, Buddha belly, big old fat belly. This is the one time we all have permission for our belly to hang out over the top of our pants, okay? If it's not doing that, you're not doing it right. So go for it. You have some fun. No one's going to step up and make sure you have fun today. It's going to be you that decides to do that. So let's just play. Let's play with life, okay? And I can say that because I was the most serious person I've ever known for the first half of my life. And I had migraine headaches and I had all kind of pain. But I was successful and I had an amazing practice going and I could build the house of my dreams and drive the car of my dreams and take my friends on vacation, and it was awesome, except for the fact that I was miserable inside because I was super serious because life was hard. Okay? But you know what? I realized that when I could help other people with their migraine headaches, but I couldn't help myself, and then I started missing work a day, a week, for weeks on end, for months on end. I finally realized I think I must be telling people things that are helping them with their headaches that I need to listen to. So I started listening to my good advice to other people, and I started taking it in. And what I learned was that it gets to be true for me too. It gets to be true for you too. It gets to be true for every one of us, that it's supposed to work in our favor. Life is supposed to be on our side. That no exceptions. That everything that's happening is supposed to be in support of me awakening to the magnificent human being that I am, the magnificent spirit being that I am in a human body. And when I started on that connection, then everything started to change. So that's why I can say, hands down, without a doubt, that it is absolutely essential that we enjoy life, that this become a joyful experience. Because if I'm not making it joyful for me, no one else can. No one else is interested in doing that. And I have loving friends and lots of beautiful people around me, but they don't wake up every day and say, I wonder how I can make Sue happy today. You know, people aren't doing that, right? It's Sue gets to decide how to make Sue happy today, how to allow Sue to be happy today. Because actually, happiness is happening automatically if we're not getting in the way. So if we're not happy, we're doing something to get in the way of our happiness. That's how naturally intended this good life is meant to be. It's just like the tree. The tree's not unhappy because it's not doing anything to get in its own way. You follow? Yeah. So
Well, you're also debunking another commonly held notion, which is that life is hard. Everybody, I've heard it a million times. I feel like I hear it every day from a different person. They just say, "Well, life is hard, so that's just how it is," and
okay.
it's just
Yeah.
so.
I have a response for you to give them.
Please.
Okay. I
Okay.
say this all the time. Life is hard until it's not. And they just sit there and look at them and see, and then they're going to do what you just did. Like, whoa, whoa, wow, okay, what's that mean? Okay, well, it's hard right up until I decide that it's not. I decided that it's not. I decided a while back that life isn't hard. And you know what happened? My headaches went away. You know, and I started breathing like this, and my headaches went away. You know, there are 1,000 more techniques just like this that I can share with you. That's part of the energy codes. But you know, we just take this one little example, and we work with this, and we realize that we are free to change it all. We are free to change all of it. Life is hard until we realize that it's not. I'm making it hard. So just say to them, you know, it's hard right up until the very moment that it's not hard anymore. It's hard right up to the very last minute, really hard, right up until it's not. And when it's not, it's because we've decided it's just not going to be hard. I'm going to look at today in a way that's easy, and I'm going to get creative about that. And when I do that, it starts getting easy. It starts getting easy. You know, so we just have to interrupt all these habits of thinking in ways that it's not in our favor. Life is truly in our favor, and it's begging us to wake up to how powerful we are as individuals. That's what it's about. That's what it's for. It's begging us to understand, to see, to sense, and to feel that we are magnificent. We are capable of anything. We are capable of managing and transmuting anything. Human beings can change energy like that. We can change energy from one form into another like that. By forgiving something, we change a situation from being bad to being good. If we learn something from it, all of a sudden it was something horrible, and now it's my friend. You know, we have the capacity to do that. It's just we don't use our faculties because our culture doesn't teach us how. So in that, along with many other things that I realized, I have put together in the energy codes. You know, can I tell you just a little story about how they came to be?
Please, that's a big question for me because what you're saying is it makes so much sense.
Yeah. It's a cool story. That's why I want to share it with everybody. It's totally unexpected thing happened in my life, and it was right in the middle of when I was busy having headaches and busy trying to deal with this hard life that we live in, and busy being miserable but being very successful. You know, that time frame that I was talking about. I got drawn due to my misery. I got drawn to seeking how to help myself. And so I was drawn into meditation. I wanted to learn how to meditate because I heard that that was good. But mostly I just had an inner inkling that that was an interest. I was curious about it. So I went to a meditation retreat, well, not a retreat, just an evening meditation thing that this woman was coming into town to do, and there were about 300 people in the room, and she started she didn't really teach about meditation. She just started leading one. So I had no idea how to meditate, and I'm looking around to make sure I'm doing it right, and you know, all that thing that we do is sitting right and breathing right and peeking out of my eye to see if I'm meditating like the next guy, or you know, at least as good as I should be, because that's how we do stuff, right? And I went through this meditation, and all of a sudden I had this experience that was bizarre. I saw this big blue sphere in front of me with my eyes closed, and I was like, whoa, what's that? I've never seen anything like that. But it piqued my curiosity so much that I decided, okay, there's something going on here that I need to pursue. And so I went to several more of these meditations. This teacher lived out of town, but every time she came through town, I went. And then I started traveling to follow this thing to find out more about it. So one day I sat down in a meditation that was being led, and I was super fed up with this frustrating life that I was leading at this time, and I sat down in this meditation with some kind of conviction that was bigger than normal for me, and I was determined to just go do this for myself once and for all, and whatever that meant. And I sat down, and they were chanting a chant. They were like repeating these names of God, and it was in Sanskrit. I didn't understand the words, but I was trying to do it along with them and participate in this. And it was causing me to breathe in a certain way. I had to take really deep breaths in order to carry out these tones and these sounds that they were making. And all of a sudden, I went through a few rounds of it, and boom, I had another one of those kinds of experiences, but it was 10 times bigger. It was 100 times bigger. It was, all of a sudden, I was in this brilliant, bright light that was 10 times brighter than the brightest day in the desert I had ever experienced. And this is the amazing thing, I could see behind me the same as I could see in front of me. I could see 360 degrees around me, just the same as I'm looking at you, just as real, more real. And I was me, but I wasn't in a body. I was this ray of light, and I could see the earth beneath me about the size of a marble. And I was stuck into it up to my knees, but I was this like golden ray of light. And every time I took a deep breath in, this pink horizon in this brilliant light would rise up and gracefully fall down. And I would take another breath in, and it would rise up like this. And as I would exhale, it would just gracefully fall. And the most important thing that I want to share about this was that the feeling that I had that filled me completely was that I was completely fulfilled. There was nothing missing. There was nothing I had to become, nothing I should be better at. There was nothing I was trying to accomplish. There was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do. There was no road ahead of me. There was no past. It was just, boom, full. I was completely satiated and fulfilled and felt whole. And what I knew in an instant was that this is real. This is really who we are. This is the truth. And everything else that I've been doing is a waste of time. It's a waste of me. It's a waste of my life. That I could scurry about and keep making it hard, but why would I ever do that if this is underneath that? So I'm not going to do that anymore. And I would love to say that I never got stressed out again after that, but I did. It took me a while to figure out how to integrate that. But over the years, I completely figured out how to not have reactions on all kinds of different level of intensity of situations, from small things to really big things. And what I have done is kind of reverse engineered how I figured that out, and I put it together in this package that I call the energy codes, because I codified what it takes for us to have access to that true, essential, still, fulfilled self that we really are. And so when you asked at the beginning of our conversation, what are the energy codes? I love to share that there's so much more than just coping skills or figuring out ways to not stress out or to get over the cold that we're having. They're really access to the truth of your eternal self. They're really access to the truth of who you are. And when we have access to that, everything changes. It's not just about dealing with this person at work. It is about dealing with this person at work that drives me crazy, or this difficulty in this relationship that I have, or this difficult time that I have dealing with this hard life that we're living. It's not just about that, but it definitely addresses those things. But I'm really interested in us getting a bigger picture going on here and operating from there. Because when we operate from there, everything changes. And we don't have to work so hard to have those benefits roll out in our lives. So thanks for letting me share that, because I think that it touches people more than anything that we can really talk about. It's the bottom line. It's the bottom line in life. It's the bottom line, and we need to access that. So the relationship between that story and this exercise that we've covered, this mula bandha and squeezing your heart and breathing up and down through this central channel of your body, the reason I do that exercise with people right off the bat is that that's how we start. That's how we start to access that experience that I had. And it doesn't matter if you ever have an experience where you can see that and see 360 degrees and, all that. That doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you access the way it feels to be in touch with your wholeness. And getting out of your head and getting down into your body is how you're going to do that. Getting out of your head and getting into your heart and letting it play a role of the timing and the way that you interpret yourself and how to be with yourself. And then dropping even deeper still and accessing that wisdom that allows us to know that there is a benefit in everything that I experience. And my job is to bring my mind together with my body through my breathing to connect the circuits so that I can more easily see that benefit, be more available and less afraid, more available to see the beauty and the benefits that are available to me. So that's why I wanted to kind of tie all that together for us.
I just want to say, more than anything, thank you for your commitment to figuring out how to share what you saw with everyone else, with like codifying it so that we could get it too, because what you described as that wholeness, that truth, that being completely fulfilled, I think it's what I know that for me it's what I want more than anything in my life, and I believe it's what everybody wants more than anything in life. And to know that you connected it, and you know that is what we are. It's just what we are, and then there's a bunch of other stuff.
You're right, and you're welcome, and it's my pleasure. And I spent 15 years doing that, and it is my greatest joy to have conversations, short or long. I teach workshops all over the world. I teach, a 4-year course or a 4-day course or a 4-minute course, if that's what is available, if that's all that's available with someone, all the time. because of what you're saying. It is what everybody needs. It's why we're here. It's why we came to this planet in the first place. And so I say, let's get on with it. Let's do that, you know. So that's what I do. I get on a plane every week because I want to make it available for people. I want people to be able to come together and get in touch with those things. And I make DVDs and CDs and all kinds of recordings in the meditation form and in a discussion format all the time, and make them available for people that need something now to begin, because they're feeling like they're in a crisis situation, or they're feeling like, you know, I need to connect. I want this feeling to begin to become real in me too. And it's a great joy to do that, because I know that whatever format it ends up landing in someone's life, it will be of benefit. It has changed thousands of people's lives in the years that I've been doing it. And I'm very humbled by the fact that it just happened with me, and humbled by the fact that I've been able to make some sense out of it that's translatable to other people. Because when we're in service to others, it is the closest thing to that sensation that we can have, and be functioning in life, and be in a body, and be out and about, you know, doing our thing. So it's my joy, my pleasure. Yeah.
Well, and one thing that I want to be sure that we talk about, we are kind of coming up on the hour. It's just incredible how fast that's gone. But you have put together a fantastic package for people, some tools that people can grab for themselves and use to help them settle into their body. And would you like to share a little bit about what's in the package?
Sure. Do you have a list of those things in that package?
I do. The first thing on here is an AM/PM meditation, which to me sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Just to be able to start and end your day, even in the possibility of really reaching who you are.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you that was the very first thing that I made after this experience that I just described to you, about being in this exalted state, in this illuminated place where I woke up in my consciousness and had this enlightenment experience. As I integrated that and came back into life and was moving along, one morning I woke up and I realized there was something that needed to come out of me. And so I called up a patient of mine who was a recording artist, a musician, and I said, Jay, I got to come over and record something. And he said, come over. And I went over. He had it all ready for me. I sat down and just rolled this out. And without rehearsal or without editing, it's an amazing thing. It's a morning meditation that sets you into the alignment to perceive life the way I'm talking about. And then it walks you through it, and it's like 15 or 18 minutes or so that does that for you, so that you hit the ground running that day on some kind of different alignment that you might have been in if you hadn't. And then there's another one for the evening that in case the day didn't go quite so fabulous, here's how you're going to reframe it. Here's how you're going to anchor and find the beauty in it all, and drop that right into a deep restful state, so that we can begin to reframe, reprogram, and build new circuitry in our systems. So that AM and PM meditation is about that. Yeah.
And the second thing you have in here is fear into fire. And in the description you have one of my favorite words, and that's passion. And transforming fear into passion is, I think that would be fantastic.
You bet it is. Fear is misguided passion. That's all it is. It's passion pointed in the wrong direction. That's all it is. It's crazy. All right. So these are MP3 downloads that are the equivalent of 4 CDs worth of conversation about just that. So it bombards you, and you can use it in your car. You can listen to it. You don't have to be in this. You know, you can operate heavy machinery while you're listening to this conversation. No worries. And it teaches you how to turn your fears inside out and use them to your advantage, because we have to untangle this mess that we've created by misinterpreting what life is all about. And I get so many letters and comments about those two things, the AM and PM meditation and the fear into fire, turning that those fears into our passion, that people say it's just life transforming for them. It's amazing information, and I can't really take credit for it, even though it came through me. It was just kind of coming through me at the time when I made those. So I think they're pretty good too. I listened to it the other day. I was like, oh, pretty good stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm gonna jump on this and get some of that too, because I know I have a lot of fears that have been governing my life, and I love the idea that my fear is just misguided passion, because I'm a very passionate person.
Yes, I can tell.
Well, and the next thing on here is the embodiment meditation 101, and it sounds like that's kind of a further meditation into the kind of exercise that we'd started.
Yes. It's a little bit longer meditation, and it has some music behind it. I mean, they all have music behind them. This one not only brings you into that state of alignment and openness and anchoring, then it moves you out into an embodiment exercise. So it's about enlightenment and embodiment. So we open up to these higher powers that be in us, and then we bring them right into the cellular tissue and right into the circuits that cause us to operate at the surface of our lives accordingly. So it anchors it and grounds it for us like nothing else. It's very fun. It's a very fun meditation. You usually don't equate fun and meditation together, but that one is.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I don't really equate any emotion in meditation, so fun
Yes.
meditation sounds fantastic. And then the last thing that you have on here is the Living the Front Side of the Model video class.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I know. So the front side of the model means be proactive in your life. See yourself as a creator instead of a reactor. So many times we think, okay, so the back side of the model would be somebody saying life is hard. Life is hard. It's just hard. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just hard. It stinks. How am I supposed to deal with this? That's the back side of the model. So the opposite of that would be the front side of the model. So the front side of the model would be I create my life, and if I'm making it hard, then I must be making it hard for a reason. What am I trying to learn? So I find a way to turn it into something that's empowering to me. When I answer the question, what am I trying to learn, then I start to feel my empowerment, and I get on with learning it. And so it's about teaching ourselves to see that we are creating our life experience, and to feel empowered to do that in a way that serves us instead of beats us up. So it's about becoming more creative and more comfortable in life, and showing you how to do that. So I think it's an hour-long conversation. It's a video that walks you through a lot of cool, fun exercises about finding your empowerment and living there. Front side of the model.
Fantastic. Well, they're all four of them. They just sound like incredible things individually, and then to put them all together, it seems like you have a whole toolkit that you can pull out at any point in time and settle into your body and really empower yourself. So thank you so much for putting all that together.
Exactly what it's designed for. That's exactly what it's intended for, and to make it available to people in a manner that they can't say no, and there are no excuses for us not to take charge of really shape-shifting our life experience. We get to do that.
Yeah, have this be your Christmas present to yourself this year, because for this week, I believe just this week only, we are offering it for what would be the retail price of $98.98. It's actually going to be about 50% off, which is a $49.49. So you are getting an amazing deal, and you're getting great products too. I mean, price aside, it just seems like these things are things that everybody should have in their life. Everybody should be able to find that truth for themselves, to really see themselves as that full, fulfilled being. I'm just that picture that you created in my mind is probably stuck there forever, which is really exciting.
I hope so. That's my intention, absolutely. And there is so much more. There is so much more available to you, and a great place to start is in those materials that I put together. This package I have never put together before, so it's for you guys, and I'm happy about that. And there is so much information in there, and there is so much more beyond that that is available to you in the Energy Codes coursework. Should you find an interest there, you can just let us know.
And feel to get the package, go to beyondword.com/mortar, MORTER. And then you can also go to Dr. Sue's website. You have tons and tons of resources on your website. I just poked around a bit, but I could tell that there were lots of different things and tons of information. And it's just drsuemortar.com, correct?
Yes, it is.
So I just wanted to say we are at our hour, and I wanted to say thank you so, so much for spending this time with us and for sharing your knowledge and your practices and your malabanda. What's it called?
Mula Bandha, yeah.
Mula Bandha, close. So I will do that, and I've been doing that a couple of times as we've continued talking. So I'm very excited to discover those new muscles inside me.
Yeah. You know what happens is you do that Mula Bandha and you can't get a good upset going on. If you find yourself driving down the road and you're upset, you do this Mula Bandha and it's like it's done. You're ruined. You can't get a good argument going anymore in your life. So I'll meet you there. You know, that's where we need to live. So
yeah, my husband will love that.
Yeah. Very good. It's been a pleasure to talk with you today. So
thank you. Well, and so everybody out there knows we will be taking the next couple of weeks off in order to for the holiday. So for that time of growth and discovery, and we'll be back in the beginning of January with Derek Rydell and his law of emergence. And it's very much along the lines of what Dr. Sue you've been talking about. It's the fact that everything that you need and everything that you've wanted to create in your life comes from you. You are the acorn that will grow into the oak tree. So we will see you in January.
Excellent. Much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.